Hi friends, Aetheria here, and although I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV for almost 2 years, I still find myself learning new things every now and then. And some of them blow my mind, and I cannot believe that I didn't know them sooner. So I decided to put together a list of things that I wish I had known sooner. I also extended the question to Reddit. I posted the question about like a month ago, and I asked people, what is something that you wished you knew as a sprout? I will link the Reddit post because there's tons of answers and there may be some helpful stuff in there. But I picked out 10 that I thought were really good. I may turn this into a series and do a couple more of these, but for now, these are 10 things that I wish I knew sooner in Final Fantasy XIV. So, number 1 has to do with selling your items on the market board, and it's kind of a two-parter. First of all, you do not have to run to the market board to check prices. You can actually check prices from within your retainer. And not only that, you can check the price history. So if you try to check prices and there's absolutely nothing there, you can check the price history to determine what you should list your item at. And then kind of the second part of that is if you have an item in your inventory that you're trying to sell and you see it says shop selling price, that means that there's an NPC that sells that item. So it's likely not going to be worth much and probably won't really sell well on the market board. However, that is not always true because sometimes people will pay for convenience. I myself have done this on accident because I didn't know what shop selling price meant. For instance, I have bought the purple flower vases that you can buy for like 5k in Gridania for like 20 on the market board because I did not know that you could get them for cheaper. I had no clue what shop selling price meant. So it's definitely a good thing to know. Number 2, this is something that I discovered recently because I have control on a hotkey on my mouse. Turns out that if you press control while the map is open, it will show the Aetherytes over all of the quests so that you can easily jump around from Aetherite to Aetherite within the map without having to zoom way into the map. It's beautiful. And I can't believe I only learned this recently. Number 3, you can actually go into your character customization settings and change the way that your inventory looks. You can make it all one big thing so you can see every single slot in your inventory, or you can make it expanded so you only have 2 or 3 pages, and sometimes it just makes it easier to see because you don't have to sort through 4 different pages. I think it's really helpful. I have mine on expanded now and I really like it. Number 4. Perhaps we've all done this at some point, but maybe if a sprout comes across this video, they will not repeat our mistakes. This is doing content synced, extreme content from Heavensward or even ARR. I remember doing some quest chain and it asked me to do Shiva Extreme and I queued into it and oh boy, we were there for the whole hour. We actually did manage to clear thanks to some beautiful angel of a veteran player who knew the fight and was willing to stick around and help people. We cleared within 5 minutes of the dungeon timing out, but anyways, basically there's a feature called Unsync. If you look in your Duty Finder menu, it's actually called Unrestricted Party, and by doing this, you can enter at your item level, whatever that is. So if you're level 90 and you enter a level 50 dungeon trial, whatever, you're gonna be able to kill things in a couple minutes. It makes it so quick, and for quests that you just want to clear out of your log, you can either unsync things or you can ask one of your level 90 friends to come and help you clear this shit out unsynced. It's a great feature. We've been using it for farming dogs and birds and horses for a long time, but it's also a feature that some players don't know about for the longest time, and I was definitely one of the people that fell into that trap when I was relatively new to the game. Number 5. This is another one that I think many people will know, but once again, some beginner players may not. You can actually travel between the servers of your data center and buy stuff. You can't sell stuff, but you can buy stuff. And the reason this is super helpful is because there's actually disparities in prices, so if you hop to a different server, you can often find stuff for cheaper. Sometimes it's only 20k cheaper, but I've literally gone places and found stuff 300k cheaper. So it's definitely worth looking around. There are also some websites like the Universalis app. I think there's a Mogboard, or something along those lines. There's a few websites too that track them. They're not 100% accurate all the time, but they are worth looking on, just so you don't have to jump between every single world in your server. But yes, you can in fact go to other servers within your data center and buy stuff at a reduced price. Number 6 is iSearch. I believe this stands for item search. If you type /isearch and then the name of the item you're looking for, it can even be just part of the name of the item, then you will get a list of all of the items with that name, and you can right-click those. If it's a clothing item, you can try it on. You can also search it, so you can find whether it's in your armoire, glamour dresser, retainer inventory. You can find where it is amongst all your inventories, and you can even link it in the chat. So if it is a gear item and somebody's like, hey, I wonder what this looks like, you can be like, hold up, I can show you, and you don't have to go and get it out of whatever inventory it's in. You literally just iSearch it, right click it, link it, and they can look at it and try it on. Number 7 is the recent player menu. I swear to God, I didn't know how to use this for probably the majority of my 2 years playing this game. I feel like I only figured out how to use this within the past month. But basically, if you open the social menu and then click contacts, you will get a list of the last 50 players that you partied with. And from that list, you can actually add them to your friends list. Number 8, I have 2 chat shortcuts that have to do with flagging your position. The first one is a less than sign, then you type POS, and then a greater than sign. And this basically stands for position, and if you type that in and press enter, your coordinates, your personal coordinates of exactly where you are, will be sent to the chat. So let's say that you died somewhere and you want someone to come give you a res. You would type that shortcut like I explained, maybe afterwards say something like, can somebody give me a res? And then press enter, and there you go. There's your position. Along with this, we have less than, flag, and then greater than sign. And what this does is it basically brings up the last coordinates that you interacted with. So if you clicked on coordinates somebody sent of a flag, but somehow you lost them, or maybe you set down your own flag, but the chat has scrolled up quite a bit and you want to get it back fresh in the chat, then you would just do the flag shortcut and it'll show up as coordinates again that people can click on, and away you go. This one's usually pretty helpful for if you're doing treasure maps. Number 9 is Transcendence. This is the buff you get after you are revived from death, and it makes you invulnerable for about 5 or 6 seconds. However, the thing to know about this is that if you try to use an ability, so like even if you start casting and then like cancel your cast, you will lose that buff. So if you're in a raid or something and you know there's going to be an AoE shortly after you get up, don't touch your skills. You can move around, but don't do anything other than move around, and you will keep that invincibility until the buff wears off. This can give your healers time to heal you so that you won't get killed by other incoming damage. And just to note, it will also come off if you use a skill like sprint, so you really can't do anything other than just move around. That's it. And finally, number 10. I literally just learned this today because of the Reddit post I mentioned, and I feel like it's going to be a game changer. If you hold down Control and then press either the up or down arrow, it will adjust your camera up or down. Listen, I have to film a lot of my videos outside of G-Pose because I need to do a string of different emotes, and G-Pose literally just loops one single emote, so it doesn't always work for me. And sometimes the framing can be a little bit odd because the default framing is set so that it's like, I don't know, it's like just almost above your feet or like just at your feet. Whereas if you use this little shortcut of Control and an arrow key, for me, the down arrow, you can better center your character. This would also be great for taking screenshots with your weapons glowing, because if you just have it on your back using the shortcut for that, which might be in a part 2 because there's a macro for that, but anyway, if you have your weapon on your back and you're doing like emotes or something, this way you could get a cute screenshot with your weapon glowing and it would be more centered to your character. I just think this is fantastic. This is what I've been needing for so long and I didn't realize it, so that's number 10. I hope that some of these were helpful to you guys. I hope that they were things that even veteran players didn't know. I wanted to mix in a few that were kind of for sprouts, but then also some that I think a lot of people just wouldn't know because I didn't know most of these. So do let me know if you learned anything. Also, if you have any pro tips, I'd love to hear those in the comments as well. If you liked this video, then please consider leaving a like and subscribing. And as always, thanks so much for watching. Bye!